Our client, RPS, has an issue tracking app that we built for them using React and styled with Bootstrap. It's called RPS Project Tracker. They recently came back with some new requests to make the app more user-friendly and add some helpful features. One of the big changes is a new dashboard page that gives a quick summary of issues along with charts and filters. Right now, the dashboard only shows active issues and has a basic date filter. We'll be adding a user filter too, and making sure that all the filters update both the data and the chart. Now let's look at the backlog page. It works fine, but it needs some upgrades. A proper grid layout with sorting and paging. Right now there are just too many items on one page, so pagination is key here. The item detail page also needs a refresh. The drop-downs should be easier to read and color-coded, and the whole layout should use tabs instead of just buttons. To meet all these new requirements, we decided to use Kendo React. It has the right components and features to help us get this done smoothly. Here's what we've added. On the dashboard page, we used Kendo chart to visualize the data, Kendo buttons for filtering, and a combo box to filter by user. On the backlog page, we replaced the list with a Kendo grid to support sorting and paging. The item form is now cleaner and more user-friendly, and the detail page got a tab layout, and we upgraded all the form controls to Kendo components for better usability, including templated dropdowns. To give everything a consistent look, we also applied a Kendo theme that blends right in with the rest of the application. In the next few chapters, we'll walk through how we transformed the original React app into a polished version using Kendo React. If you'd like to follow along with this course, there are 3 projects you'll want to download or clone from GitHub to your local machine. First up is the RPS API. This is a Node and Express backend that will run locally while developing the React app. It provides all the data, fake data of course, but it behaves like a real backend and sends responses to your React frontend. I'll walk you through how to set it up in the next lesson, but for now, go ahead and grab the repo. Next is RPS Tracker React. This is the starter version of our issue tracker built with React, without any Kendo React components yet. This is where we'll begin the course, so if you want to code along, download or clone this one. And finally, there's RPS Tracker React Kendo. This is the finished version of our app, the one with all the Kendo React components already added. It's a great reference point if you get stuck or just want to peek at the final result. As for software, here's what you'll need. Node.js, specifically the latest LTS version, and I'll be using Visual Studio Code as my editor. As I've mentioned before, it's great for working with TypeScript and makes importing Kendo React components really easy. That said, you can use whatever editor you feel more comfortable with. To run the development environment for our sample application locally, the first project you're going to need is this RPS API project. This is the backend or the API that's going to be serving all the requests for the front-end React application. If you haven't already, go ahead and clone this repository or download it and put it in some local folder where you have your code. Then navigate to the folder in your command line or terminal and run npm install. That way, this installs all the modules and all the node packages that are defined in your package.json file. The next step is to just run one of the scripts that's already defined. So, at the command line, execute npm run dev, and that's all you really need to do. This will kick off the TS node server and serve the API on localhost port 8080. Let's take a look at what this API returns using Postman. Postman is a free tool that you can use just to query the API. I like to use this tool. It's not required that you use this tool. You can also just pop the URL into your browser to test to make sure that this API works. But if you're curious about Postman, it allows you to do post requests as well as get requests. Here's the API backlog path that I've specified, and I'm using the get method here. And when I click the send button to send the request, the response will have all the generated fake items that represent the backlog items of the tracker application. You can take a look at the project folder and the code, but you really don't need to. It's already there and everything is set up for you. But if you're really curious, the RPS API project looks like this. There's a server file here that's a TypeScript file, and all our routes are defined here. The route that we just tried using Postman is this backlog route, and it returns all the current items that were generated. There are many other routes defined here as well. We're going to be using some of the routes that we included here to build up our dashboard in the chart, but I'll specify those when we get to that section. You can just leave the process running in the background as you're developing your React application. Speaking of the React application, you can download it here, RPS Tracker React. This is the starting point of this course, and this is just a React application generated with Vite. You can clone or download this as you wish. I've already cloned the RPS Tracker React app, and here I am in this root folder. And I also ran npm install, which you should do if this is a fresh clone. To start this app, you'll use an npm script again, npm run dev. The script will compile the application and serve it on localhost port 3000. You can just copy this URL and paste it in your browser. And here we are at the application. We already have the dashboard page and some issues that are active here, but we don't have the chart yet here on the dashboard page. Our filtering is working, so that's good. However, we don't have the combo box or the users that we also need to add to the filter. So we're going to work on this page, and we're also going to work on the backlog page and the details page as well. To get ready for the next few chapters, go ahead and open the RPS Tracker React project in your editor.